How's everybody doing tonight? So, it's Saturday. Last night was Friday Night Magic Draft, and I was able to actually make it this week because I was feeling a little bit better. So, I did go out there and do a Theros draft. Still having trouble figuring out how to draft this set. It's not as smooth as Throne for drafting, for sure. So, but it's got some great cards in the set. I really like the set, but still having trouble drafting it. But I'm gonna tell you what I went with and let you know why and how well it worked. So, first thing was I believe I got Gary, the good old gray Merchant of Asphodel in my first pack. So I decided to start pulling black right away because this guy is pretty awesome in draft. Any kind of sealed or draft, he's a beast because he's got a built-in drain life for your devotion to black when he comes into play. So, and he's a little bit expensive, but I mean, if you got even just two other black pips out, he deals 4 damage to your opponent, and you gain 4 life, and you got a 2/4 blocker out there. So I started pulling kind of black cards the first pack round. And I did get some removal as well, which was helpful. So I did end up getting, I believe, the Farrakhan's Libation and a Myers Grasp in the first go round in the packs. And then I did end up getting another Myers Grasp and the Inevitable End. Myers Grasp probably my favorite removal in sealed in this set for black because it takes out anything 3/3 and even if they got something bigger, like a 4/4, you can still knock it down to a 1/1, and then you got a black pip on the board for your devotion as well. So, pretty good card. I really like that one. Inevitable End I ended up getting the first time I used it in draft, and it's a lot of fun because it really causes problems for your opponent because they have to sack a creature at the beginning of each upkeep. So, you put it on the one you want gone the most, and a lot of time they will end up sacking that one just so they don't end up having to sack another creature every turn. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It definitely causes some shenanigans there. I ended up going black and white because I started getting some decent flyers. Like the Sunmane Pegasus, I got a couple of those pretty early on in the second pack, and then also Daybreak Chimera, which is a really good flyer. Ended up pulling a Transcendent Envoy and a couple of the Hero of the Winds before it was over, and I also got a Heliod's Pilgrim. This guy is amazing for draft. He's a 3-drop 1/2 that when he enters the battlefield, you can search your library for an aura card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Well, the Inevitable End's an aura, and so is the Myers Grasp. So you can actually pull out some removal with the Heliod. So I thought he was pretty cool, and he helped out a lot because every time I was able to get him out there, I was able to pull out a removal and get rid of one of my opponent's problems over there. I did grab a couple of Thaumaturge's Familiars. I really like these for sealed because they are a flying 1/3, and you get to scry one when you put them in. For 3 for a artifact flyer, not bad. They're an easy target, and they don't do a lot of damage unless you can pump them up, but I did get a couple of Flanks Tactics, so I was able to pump them up quite a bit. And I also managed to get a Share of the Sky to help with my removal. So I was able to destroy a lot of creatures with a Share of the Sky. And I got an Elspeth passed to me because the guy next to me opened a pack that actually had a foil constellation Erebus, which I was hoping he was going to pass to me. But he decided to keep that one and pass me this one because they were both in the same pack. So that was one hell of a pack. But I ended up getting the Elspeth, and she came in really, really handy. She's actually, this card doesn't seem to be very valuable. I don't see her getting a lot of play, but it's a really handy card. I think the one problem with this, because it's only 4 casting cost, so it's not very expensive, and she's a 5 loyalty, but all her abilities are negatives. So you kind of kill her fairly quick. She does have escape, but it's pretty expensive. It's 2 white and 4 colorless, and you got to remove 4 other cards. So you can get her out pretty early and start doing some damage, but escaping is kind of tough. It takes a while to get her out of the graveyard end. There's a lot of graveyard removal, and every time she went to the graveyard, somebody would end up removing my graveyard before I could escape her. So she was kind of a one-hit pony for the most of the part. I think I got her to escape 1 time in all the games. Her -1 is up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+1 till end of turn. She's got a -2 of create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, and then her -3 is you gain 5 life. I just happened to get in my 3 packs. 2 of the packs had human soldier tokens in them, so I even had the tokens for her ability. Although I tended to do the -2 twice, so I could get 4 1/1s out there, and then I would use the 1 to pop her for the final one to pump them up when I attacked with everything to try and get a bunch of damage through. I also got a Nightmare Shepherd. This card is amazing, not even just in draft. It's an amazing card, period, for constructed or draft, but it's also a very, very easy target in draft. This was the first thing to get removed. I didn't get a whole lot of use out of it because literally the 1 or 2 times I was able to get it in my hand and then cast it, they took it out immediately because this thing causes all kinds of havoc. So for my black creatures, I had the Gary, I had a Venomous Hierophant. I wanted a lot of Death Touch, but this was the only Death Touch I actually got in the draft, which was kind of lame, but it's a great creature. It stops a lot of stuff. Plus, it puts 3 cards in your graveyard to help with escape costs. I did get 2 of the Blight Breath Pass. Yeah, whatever they are. I got 2 of the Blight Breaths, which I love because they're removal when they come in the game. But they're really high casting costs. 6 mana for a 3/2. And you know, in draft, you're not going to have a lot of stuff out there. You can't really do constructed, and I didn't go mono black, so he wasn't as effective as he would be in like a constructed deck. Plus, he was so expensive that I really only wanted to put 1 in there because I wasn't too confident about the mana curve with running 2 colors with him having 2 black pips, and yeah. Turns out I ended up getting landed out most of the time in most of my games, even though I ran kind of low on the lands. Anyways, I got 2 Rage Scarred Berserkers. Only ran 1 in the main deck because again he's kind of expensive. He is a 5/4, but his enter the battlefield ability is only a +1 and gains indestructible for another creature till end of turn. So a little bit pricey and not a lot of ability after his ETB. I only got 1 Underworld Charger, unfortunately. I was hoping I'd get a few more of these because these are really, really handy in draft. I mean, these are game winners in draft because it's a 3 for a 3/3. He can't block, but he's a great attacker, and he's got escape. So with the escape, he comes in with 2 1/1 counters on him, and it's only exile 3 cards and costs 5 mana, so you can escape him fairly easy. And then you got a 5/5 out there. And then the Lampad, I only got 1 Lampad. I was hoping I'd get more. Lampad is amazing for draft because he's the game winner. So your opponent's down to 8 life. You attack with 4 little 1/1s and do 4 damage, and then sack all of them to him and do the other 4, and there you go. Plus, if you're low on life, you can sack creatures to do damage to your opponent and gain 1 life every time. So anything that's about to go to the graveyard, you sack it as a response and do 1 damage to them and gain a life. So Lampad is a beast. I ended up getting 2 Grim Positions. I only ran 1 in the main deck just because I had a lot of stuff and I didn't want to have a bunch of kind of little guys taking up space. I wanted to try and get some of the bigger beasts out faster. So here's all the stuff I drafted that I ended up not using. Fruited Tizerus, I really love that card. It's just my deck was kind of overloaded, so I didn't put it in there. I probably should have because that card has won me quite a few games in draft and sealed already. A Legato Band Storyteller. I was very, very tempted to do this one, but I just didn't have a lot of enchantment creatures, and I had no actual enchantments aside from the Inevitable End. So I was like, well, and the removal. I was tempted to put him in there, but he was a little bit pricey, and I just had to trim down. I probably should have kept him in. There's the other Rage Guard, the other Grim Physician. I got a Discordant Piper, but he's a good little blocker and brings in another blocker when he dies, but I wanted creatures that did more. I didn't want them to just be blockers. I got a Leon and the Lost Bride, and I was going to stack him just in case somebody's escape creatures were causing me problems, and I could have used them a few times because I was having some problems with other people's escape cards. I got a Rumbling Sentry. He's just a little too expensive for not very much ability. Revoke his existence I had in the sideboard in case I was having trouble with artifacts or enchantments. Sentinel's Eyes, just didn't have enough room for it, really. Pretty good card, but just didn't have enough room. Altar of the Pantheon, I was really on the fence about putting it in the deck. I almost did. Decided last minute not to because I wanted more creatures. Felt like I didn't have enough creatures, and creatures are really important in sealed. And I had a Bronze Sword, but again, just want to concentrate on getting really effective creatures in there. The first round, I did not do very well. They were pretty close games, but I ended up losing 0-2 the first round. Second round, I won the first game, and then the second game, I had my opponent down to 3 life, and I had 4 damage and flyers, and he had no flyers to block coming over. And I just ended up getting overconfident. I had 9 life, right? And he attacked with he had a 5/5 with an Underworld Charger out. And he attacked with it. And I had plenty of blockers, but I completely forgot he had a Lampad out. And I was like, oh, I got 9 life. I'll still have 4 left after I take the hit. And that way I can attack with everything and make sure, just in case he pulls out some kind of battle trick, that I get enough damage over there. Well, I completely forgot he had a Lampad out and he had 2 token creatures out. So he hit me with a 5 and then sacked everything to the Lampad, and I died. And I ended up losing the third game in rounds to him. So I would have won the second round had I not played stupid. If I had just blocked his creature and attacked in the air for the 4 like I was supposed to, then I would have won the game. So that was my mistake. Of course, I do work like 10 hours and teach a bunch of students before Friday Night Magic. I literally rush home from work, feed my cat, and then rush over to the store to play Magic. So I'm always pretty exhausted, so I tend to do some playing errors, and that one cost me big time because I ended up, pretty much getting knocked out of the top 4 at that point. I did end up winning 2-0 my last 2 rounds, but they were, we were all just fighting for last place basically at that point because, the top 4 players already had moved on and were playing each other. So yeah, I ended up that one stupid mistake there, not blocking. Always block. There's always a trick. When you're low on life, always block. Ended up losing the game because I forgot the Lampad was out there. So that's the moral of that story. Theros, I'm just still kind of having trouble finding some kind of synergy between a couple of colors. And I'm not real big on running mono colors, so I didn't do that. I did get past an Enigmatic Incarnation as well. So I did get more rares than the packs that I had, because I got the Elspeth, the Sire of the Sky, the Nightmare Shepherd, and the Incarnation. So I did pretty good as far as pulling cards, because that one's pretty decent. Paid for half the draft there, but so there you have it. That's what happened with my draft. I didn't do very well. I placed 6th, not very good. Top 4 is the only thing that gets prizes at the LGS that I play at on Friday nights. There's another LGS across town that pretty much gives prizes to everybody that competes every week. A little more generous store, but they're way on the other side of town, and they start a little bit earlier, so there's no way I could get out of work and drive all the way across town and get there in time to play at that store. The store I play at is really cool, really laid back, and Good guys, good prices and everything, real competitive. But yeah, you only get prizes in the top 4 over there. So so if you don't get in the top 4, you don't get anything. So unfortunately, I have no packs open in this video, but hopefully you'll check out some of my other videos. There are probably a couple of suggestions up in the corners there, and you'll learn from my mistakes. Yeah, always check to make sure there's not a land pad out, and always block, even when you're, if there's any doubt in your mind that you're not gonna, that something could happen, always block. Don't just take the damage and be like, oh, I got enough life and I'm about to kill him next turn. Overconfidence will get you every time. So so watch out for those silly mistakes. Plan out your moves a little bit more, and yeah, don't try not to be overconfident and just not block, because I could have easily, I had plenty of creatures out, ground pounders, that I could have easily blocked but then lost and not cared. I just wanted to, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but could have done a little better. Probably could have gotten in the top 4 if I had just blocked that one creature. So there you have it. I'm still tweaking a really kind of neat deck in Arena. Just having problems with a couple of having problems with control decks. I'm doing great against mono red, but I'm having trouble with control decks. So I've got to tweak it a little bit more to figure out how to get around them. And then I'll do a deck video on that. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos, of course. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know your opinions on, I think the next set coming out is actually the mystery booster boxes. So let me know what you think about those. I do have a unsanctioned on the way to open on the channel. I'll show you what's in there. I'm not real big on the unsets, but I usually don't invest in them. But I wanted to open one on the channel for you guys, so I did order one. So one of those is on the way, so I'll open that soon. And I've got some other cool videos coming up, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.